Going live. Almost. Oh, hello, good evening, and welcome everybody to another episode of the British Hive Mind with your bit of a hyperactive host here, Dave Wolf. Nice to meet you all. Nice to see you all. Nice to see everybody that's going to be tuning in live or tuning in after the show as well. So today we're going to be able to stream live on Facebook as well on Ollie Connolly's page, The Daily Brexit, which we've been missing for a while because Facebook has been playing silly buggers with us, but we'll do our best. We do our best. We got it back, and Ivan's back in business. Yay. So, what's the show going to be about today? Well, I was thinking about it. I was thinking, hopefully I could get some guests on, but been a bit of a lonely couple of days for the show, but it's all right. I'll have my own little rant by myself. It doesn't really matter. And I'll pick up some comments that come along as well, hopefully. Not so good on the Facebook comments because they're very tiny on the little screen there. But I was going to do today's show on the police, the state of the police in this country, because time and time again, we see the police acting beyond their remit. We see the police acting above and beyond their call of duty. We see them favouring others rather than certain people. We see them literally going around as tax collectors or money collectors for the state. I see them more and more rarely, or just pottering about in the car. You know, one police officer in a car can't do anything. They have to call for backup before they can even leave the car. That's the sorry state of affairs in this country at the moment. So I'll see plenty of single police officers driving about in the car, literally doing nothing, just driving back and forth, trying to make a police presence to, sort of scare the public into obedience? Quite possibly. But yeah, the police and policing in this country is a rabbit hole, and a pretty deep rabbit hole at that. It's been, for want of a better word, hijacked. It has. It's been completely and utterly hijacked for political uses now, where the police are the political sort of brown coats, the ones that go around and enforce these so-called laws or legislation or the legalese that the government has put in place to stifle our freedom. And obviously, if you don't play by their rules and you don't pay their bills and you don't pay for your life the way that it's got to be, you will get a knock on the door by the police telling you that you've got to give them money. If you drive a little bit over the speed limit on an empty dual carriageway in the middle of the night, guess what? You're still going to get the same fine. You're still going to get a fine. And if you don't pay that fine, then guess what? You might get a knock at the door and they might demand the money from you. Yeah. And it seems that the police nowadays are getting more and more tyrannical. They're not. I've heard stories of the Bobby on the beat in the 60s, the 70s, was a local part of the local community. Like the old town sheriff sort of mentality and feeling. The everyday Bobby on the street, you'd walk past and you'd say, hello, good day. Everything going all right? Been catching any criminals today? Have a bit of a laugh with them, a bit of banter, bit of fun with the police officer on the street. Because guess what? They're a human too. But as times have progressed and as times have moved on and how culture has changed and how our dictatorship has changed, the police have become more and more of a sort of political entity, a separate entity to the community. You know, back in the days, it would be a local officer, someone that was from the local area that you knew, that you trusted, that, you know, had the authority to give your kid a clap round here and say, oh, you don't be doing that, that's stupid. Or get you by the scruff at neck, take you back round to your home and tell your mum to tell you off. Nowadays, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. It's the police are either open targets for the youth of today to go over and to verbally assault, even physically assault nowadays, because, you know, what's one or two officers going to be able to do against 20 youths? What's two or three officers going to be able to do against 20 youths with the backup of all their parents as well? It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one because, on one hand, we need a stronger police force with more upholding the law and more, how can I put this, sort of justice in the street. That's on one hand. And on the other hand, the police are acting above and beyond their call and above and beyond their remit. You know, policing freaking Facebook nowadays. You can't, you know, we've got thought crime police and the police that went after Count Dankula and things like that. You know, I bet he got a knock on the door late at night. And yeah, the police came around to his house to incriminate him for a video that he made, making it, you know, having a laugh at his pug dog, a cute little dog, turn it into something. Oh, yeah. But when the police are policing speech and thought more than burglary, crime, arson, larceny, fraud, prostitution, child abuse, child abduction, and all these huge major topics are getting brushed under the carpet and replaced with virtue signalling, petty, pathetic crime that isn't actually really a crime because there's no loss, no harm, and no injury involved whatsoever. It was somebody's hurt feelings. Whereas, you know, someone broke into someone's house, beat the living heck out of them and took their stuff. It took the police 3 days to respond to that. And, you know, I'm quoting off cuff here. I'm not quoting an actual police investigation with a crime number and all this, that, and the other. But I've heard it goes on. I've heard people ringing up saying that there's a burglary going on. And then the police saying, oh, well, we'll be round tomorrow. It's one of the main arguments for an armed populace. If somebody's breaking into your house, somebody's threatening you, somebody's stomping onto your property, threatening you and looking to take your stuff, what can you do? Call the police and wait 15, 20 minutes for them to arrive whilst the burglar's off on his jollies, gone away, or currently beating you, or taking all your stuff in the meantime. You've got to wait 15, 20 minutes for the police to turn up. Really? That's justice, isn't it? So it's almost like the UN approach to things. We'll send people to go and observe the terrorists doing terrorist actions, and we'll stand here and we'll just make notes about it. Yeah. So we'll send the police after the crime has occurred to go around and take some notes of it so they can put it into the system and make it look like they're doing some work. Yeah. It seems to be the police have now got targets to get. So instead of going after the big crime rings and the massive drug dealers and the real crimes that are affecting our society, that take real investigation, real hard legwork and real proper policing that's too difficult for them now. It's too difficult. You know, they'll only get 1 star on the board if they solve a crime like that. Or they could go online and monitor Twitter and find 3 offensive comments, and they'll get 3 stars on the board for that, for sitting in the office behind the desk, nice and warm, with a cup of tea in their hand, without having to get out on the beat, out on the street, you know, policing this country. Because, yeah, I'd love this country to be the utopia we want it to be, the utopia it could have been, where everybody has empathy and people want to get along well with each other, don't want to abuse each other, don't want to get one over on the other person. And there isn't so much poverty where crime becomes a sort of, you know, a way to get out of it, or a way to just survive in the economy and the society that we built. But sadly, you know, the case is we need police on the streets. We need people with a good high moral standing to be able to walk around the streets and look out for people, look out for the elderly, look out for the youth, look out for any vulnerable people in our society. And I was coming on to that point as well in the comments there on YouTube, because it's the employment of these police officers that's starting to really affect the police force, the police service. Because instead of going for the morally outstanding, you know, with not going, you know, they're not going for the pillar of the community. They're not going for the sort of patriotic people. They're not going for these types of people that would make a good police officer. They're going for the easily led. They're going for the virtue signalers, the social justice warriors, this sort of the sort of psychopathic tendencies in people. That's what the police are actually starting to recruit for, and start to look into the police that they're employing at the moment. And well, I've seen adverts, you know, police, what they're called, drive, what they're called, employment drive. Yeah, a sort of employment drive for the police, focusing on ethnic minorities. So the white people and the local white people are put to the back of the queue whilst we look for ethnic minorities to come and police in the ethnic minority areas. Yeah, because that's what's happening. That is most definitely what is happening. And like I was saying, they're going for more of the selfish, virtue signaling, social justice warrior characters that think that going around policing people's thoughts and feelings is the right way to be policing. And also people that are very susceptible to their neuro-linguistic programming, because, as one of the guests commented on YouTube, the common purpose factor has come into a counterpart on the police service, because the police service used to be heavily masoned, heavily controlled by the Freemasons, where you could not become a police chief or a police captain or any high-ranking officer in the police force without pledging your allegiance truly to the Masons and being a part of their secret society and their secret club. Now, from what I see, from what's happened with Common Purpose coming into place, they are another form of secret society that's very inward-looking, inward-focused, very very mind controlling, very grooming, very, how can I put it, nefarious in their way of training their future leaders. They want easily programmable people that will follow suit, that will follow the party line, that will follow their organization's globalist agenda to the letter. So once you've got these people in the higher tiers of the police force, they are then looking for the same sorts of people to fill in the slots underneath them as well. So I believe that a lot of the training for the police nowadays has got common purpose elements to it, has got neurolinguistic programming aspects to it, that have got ways for the police officer to sort of shut down their emotions so they can abuse people, or they can do things that they know are unlawful, unconstitutional, and incorrect, but because they have received orders to do so, they're allowed to do it. They come to the moral judgment of themselves and say, yes, I can do that. You see, these people, they're the undermentioned, they're the underclass, these far-right protesters. We can kettle them up, we can push them into this corner, and we can harass them ourselves. We're the police, we're the moral police. We are the ones that control society. We are right, they are wrong. We are allowed to beat them with our sticks and spray them in the face with pepper spray. That's the sort of psychopathic tendencies that are being sort of promoted in the police force nowadays and encouraged in the police force nowadays. Next, we've got to get a grip on what's happening with armed police in this country, because not only are these psychopaths being given truncheons and tasers, these people with psychopathic tendencies are getting guns. Yes, I've seen, like I've said a couple of times on the show and other shows, I've seen 3 police officers armed with 9mm pistols getting their breakfast from McDonald's. Just like it's an everyday thing. Just like it's a normal, everyday sort of occurrence to see armed police officers on the streets or in McDonald's getting breakfast. Like it's not something that should throw up a massive red flag of tyranny. Yeah. Like the police officers armed stood outside the Houses of Parliament, armed stood outside Westminster, armed in our airports, armed here, there, and everywhere, armed to the teeth to make sure we're safe, or to make sure we're living in fear, to make sure we're fearful of them. On some aspects, yes, you should have some form of not fear of the police and not animosity towards the police. We should have this innate respect for the police. They're supposed to be there to help us. They're supposed to be there to protect and serve us. It doesn't seem that way anymore. We're not being educated that way anymore. We're not seeing the social implications of these civil servants acting in our favour anymore. We're only seeing them coming, abusing us, taking our money, abusing the rights. Don't get me started on the stuff that they're letting people get away with, because as soon as you start to look into that rabbit hole and you see who's getting away with what, you really start to have a lot of dismay and a lot of disbelief in the police system and the policing system in this country. Because when you see when you see what they've been letting people get away with, child trafficking, the police have been involved in it, let alone let them get away with it. For crying out loud, it's not on. It's not on. And yes, there might be, your everyday Bobby in the street who is a good all-round guy, who is, looking out for the local community, gets talking to the people, starts to, advise the children in the right way and help promote community and, social cohesion that way. Yes, great. But that might be 1 in 10, 5 in 10, who knows? From what I see with the police isn't that. It's not that. Cripes, most of them are scared to come around our this community now, because they know that if they make an arrest, that a lot will start to come out of the woodwork, and a lot will start to protest, and a lot will kick off, and a lot of things can go pretty wrong pretty quickly, especially when they've got training in flash mobbing. So as soon as anything goes down, as soon as something goes starts to go a little bit against them, boom, phones come out, boom, 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 and then instantly 10, 20, 30, 40 all gathered round. So I'm just reading a comment here on Facebook from Den. Yeah, about the 6th of May. Because you must have seen the videos. All of you must have seen the videos from Speaker's Corner over the past month, where we've got Islamists praying in the park, blatantly against park regulations. Park regulations are part of the law, are they not? And these police officers are there to enforce these laws and enforce these regulations. And the law is the law, and it's not to be debated. And we've got police officers in Speaker's Corner having to debate Islamists on whether they've got to follow the freaking regulations or not. It's follow the freaking regulations or get out of the park. It's that simple. That simple. It's not up for debate. The regulation's the regulation. Black and white. And you see it again and again and again. The police pushing back against the British people. The Muslims are whacking people with sticks and attacking people, and Antifa are out there masked up attacking people, and the police are targeting the British people that are there peacefully to actually protest and actually put a decent point across. The police are actually turning against them. How? Why? Why are the police doing this? If I was a police officer and I was told to do what they get told to do and behave in the way that they behave, I'd say no. Take these things, have them back. Have them back. Because I have a moral compass, and to see what the police are doing and, they're only following orders is not an excuse. You have the right to question these orders. And I've never been down to London myself. Well, I've been down once, but I never really got around, and I've never really been to Speaker's Corner. But from what I see, yeah, you're right, Lisa. It did turn into an open air mosque where they'd stand there and they'd preach Sharia and they'd preach hate and they'd preach the gobbledygook of freaking Muhammad. And anytime you go to question them, they'd start verbally attacking you. Then they'd gather around you and start physically attacking you, bumping into you, doing, aggressively trying to intimidate you, to try to silence you. And these are just from a few snap videos that I've seen. I'd hate to have been there on the street and feeling this. intimidation. Well, it's not intimidating. It wouldn't intimidate me that much. It'd get me back up, and I would probably get miffed off. I would probably start to unleash both barrels at them. Bam, 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 have some of that. Bam, 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 prove this. Bam, 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 bam. And start giving it all. And then I probably would have been attacked because they don't quite like when people insult Islam. But yeah. And it seems that time and time and time again, the police are against the British people, especially in those sorts of situations. And I encourage anyone and everyone. It doesn't matter what political spectrum you stand upon. It doesn't matter if you're a Remoaner. It doesn't matter if you're a staunch Brexiteer. It doesn't matter if you just want to destroy the European Union in its entirety. Free speech is the cornerstone of our civilization, is the cornerstone of society. And look back in history. Look at what regimes and what has happened after free speech was taken away. Look at the history. Do you really want that to repeat itself again? That's why everybody has to try to get out there. If they can get to London, get to London. Great stuff. If you can only just get to the pub, get to your local pub and start talking about it amongst your people at your local pub, because guess what? It affects us all. Not just the people that are in London or the people that are in Hyde Park, at Speaker's Corner, or the people on Twitter getting cancelled on Twitter, or just these little affronts to freedom of speech. It's all these little things that they have to tick off the list to get the massive end of free speech at the end of the day. This whole political correctness ideology that they've thrown at us. They've put it in by design. They've tried to make us question ourselves and stop our own free speech by self-censorship, thinking, ooh, I can't say that. Ooh, best not say that. Ooh, I might offend someone if I say that. Huh. It's where they got you. Why would they need to censor you when they can they can force you to censor yourself because of the social ramifications of what you might say, or the social ramifications of the opinions you might have? 10 people in a line, 9 of those people might share that same view, but one goes, me, I'm offended. Why do we have to pander to that one person that gets offended? Why? When the 9 other people in the line agree with you. It's called democracy. The majority wins. That's if most people want something to change in society, guess what? The most people want it. The most people should get it. And yeah, even on last night's show, I said the P and the N words. I best not say them again because I don't want to get deplatformed. But yeah, you can't tell that joke without looking over your shoulder to make sure there's none of them around. A joke's a chuffing joke, crying out loud. But yeah, like I say, I encourage anybody and everybody to get out there on May the 6th, on this Sunday, or even Saturday. Go out to the pub on Saturday and start to talk to people about the event. Open people's minds up. Talk to people. You don't have to support Tommy to do it. You don't have to support Liam Tufts to do it. You don't have to support Anne-Marie Waters to want to have free speech. Crying out loud, you could be a lefty you could be a lefty muppet. You're still going to need free speech. It's that simple. It is that simple. And I think it goes deeper. Much deeper than free speech and free expression, because ideas are being suppressed now. Engineering ideas are being suppressed now. Free energy is there. The technology is there, but it's being suppressed. A lot of wireless technology, is being suppressed. A lot of technology that is very beneficial to humankind and mankind and civilization in general is being suppressed. You know, there's engines out there, hydrogen on demand engines. We can run cars off water. There's no need to be Saudi oil slaves anymore. There's no need to be slaves to the petrodollar. No need. We've got the engineering know-how and the manufacturing capabilities to start putting this into practice, put this into place. But the establishment have bought the patents, suppressed the patents, killed the scientists that discovered these, pressured the people into making sure that they can't speak out about them, suppressing freedom of ideas, freedom of thought. That's where it's going, people. That's where it's going. And yeah, it's not just about going to Hyde Park and Speaker's Corner on Sunday. You see, I'm stuck up here in North. I can't make it down there. I'd love to. You know? And I think that's one of the biggest strengths of the FLA and the DFLA is their football links and their links with away days. You know? They have the infrastructure in place to get coach loads of people to any town, city, up and down the country. Because on a weekly basis or a fortnightly basis. That is one of the keys to this whole movement, is the logistics and the transportation of the people. You've seen it in America, all these Soros-backed buses and all these Soros-backed Antifa slime, all getting on a bus, all getting transported to Charlottesville, and all being able to cause a ruckus. You know, all of them had the same tiki torches. All of them had the same sort of signs. Where were they being supplied from? All of these out-of-towners, you know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Lisa. If we can sort the logistics out, and I really want to sort the logistics out for the 23rd of June, because if we can get the people from the north to come down to London on that day, it will show true unity, because there is this north-south divide. There's a north-south divide in this country, and the north are pissed off. We're pissed off that we've been forgotten about time and time and time again. The government, the establishment, the deep state have destroyed our industry, have destroyed our town, have let our towns be invaded. Literally. They've destroyed, disseminated, decimated our ability to produce, our ability to manufacture, our ability to hold our own industries, our powerhouse, the northern powerhouse, which was industry. The establishment has destroyed this. The London-centric establishment that want to base our economy on selling coffee or financial services that London produces and the City of London does, they want to base our economy around that, which is utterly farcical. Yeah. And like I think a lot of us truth tellers, a lot of us red pill people are seeing the time restraints on our action. Things are getting worse and worse, faster and faster. The walls of tyranny are closing in quicker and quicker and quicker. We're losing our freedoms day by day. They are. It's hard to describe because it's been happening. It's been going on for so long. The destruction of our freedom, you know, and I can pretty much say with a guarantee that everybody watching was born in a cage. We were born into slavery. It's just no one's realised it yet. James Gore on the Daily Chaos keeps going on and on and on and on and on about it. The birth certificate is, for want of a better word, a fucking receipt to show that the government owns you, and the government can use you as collateral. Yay! Collateral, so it can borrow money off the international banking syndicate. Yeah, and all of us have been born into this world, and a few of us have realised it now. A few of us have come to the conclusion that government doesn't work for us no more. Doesn't. It's supposed to. That's what it's meant to do. But the roles have reversed. The lunatics are now running the asylum. And what do I say? It's all well and good us, trying to red pill people, trying to wake people up, trying to get the word out there, trying to spread this information, trying to wake people up with the stick of truth and start to sit. Yeah, but we need to start to focus these people, to start to lead these people, to start to give them the solution. Because it's all well and good pointing out the problems, massive problems in this country, massive problems in this country. And when the world comes falling down, these massive problems are going to bite us in the arse, bite us hard. And we're not prepared for it. Well, the people aren't prepared for it. And we're all getting caught up. A lot of people are getting caught up with the symptoms of the problem. Not the cure, not the solution, not the answer. Yes, marching on the streets, great. Protest, yes, great. Get out there, talk to the people, make friends, make connections, make networks amongst these people that you meet in the crowds. Show the government that we're mightily annoyed. But we've also got to give them the ultimatum. We've also got to give them the demand. We demand you change. If you do not change, bad things will start to happen. That's the way it's got to be. Because without that ultimatum, it's falling on deaf ears. These plutocrats, these puppets, these career politicians, these investment bankers, these bastards that really run the world and run the country will be sat there laughing. Only seeing our protests as a way of us venting our frustrations. We go out, we vent our frustrations publicly in the street, shout at people, rah, 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 hold up a sign. Then we got pub. Next day we forget about it. And guess what? Next day it's all forgotten about and brushed under the carpet. Or they'll have another news story come out to divert our attention away from what's just happened. Or they won't even cover it at all. The FLA march in London comes to mind. So, what I really like to see, and this is sort of, I've seen it happen time and time again at our rallies, at our speeches, at our events. We're very understanding of the police. We're very coexistent with the police. We're very sort of, pally. Don't worry, we'll keep you safe and you keep us safe. Sort of respect, mutual respect for each other. And we're very nice to the police from our side, whereas the left, throwing bottles, throwing rocks, throwing sticks, hitting people, wearing masks, covering up their identities, shouting abuse, Yeah, I've seen at some of the silly Britain First rallies, them calling, verbally abusing officers, but that you could blatantly see the officers holding a prejudice. A police officer must hold no prejudice. And when you get police officers at events saying that it's a far-right racist rally, that's holding prejudice. That's not only holding prejudice, that's spreading the prejudice to people that are walking past in the streets as well. And you're in a position of authority. Come on. So, like I said, we want to work alongside the police. The police are a part of our society, a part of our community, and a part that we want to be on our side, looking out for the British population, looking out for the British people, looking out for British culture, British social traditions, British society, the best of Britain, the best of British. That's what the British police officer should represent. But time and time again, we see this not occurring. We see this politicised police force. And, it's become very detrimental to the police force. Nobody's respecting the police force anymore. The youth of today, by crikey, they're at war with the bloody police most of the time. And that's through these cultural devices that they've put in place in these poverty-stricken areas, that are poverty-stricken areas by design, that are, these youths are being taught that the police are against them and the police are the enemy and the police are open targets. Who's teaching these people this? Because I, for one, certainly ain't going to teach my kids that the police are the bad guys. Unless things go to the side of government, then I will be teaching my children that the police are, yes, the bad guys. Because if they carry on the way that carrying on, they are going to end up being the bad guys. They're going to end up being like the freaking Gestapo, Stasi, Catalonian style beating Nana sort of police. That's where it's heading. And they say we're far right when they're trying to introduce a police state. They've already introduced martial law stage 1, where they're allowed to have armed police officers up and down the streets. When's stage 2? Do you think that they're pushing us towards this stage 2 so they can enforce stage 2? Do you think they're pushing us? Do you think they're releasing all of these stories, releasing all of this civil unrest, changing our culture, painting the police as the bad guys, painting the police as useless, painting the court system as biased and completely and utterly useless, the Crown Prosecution Service letting people off with child rape whilst prosecuting people for bacon, for crying out loud? Don't you think this is being done by design to really miff us off and make it look like our legal system is worthless? Problem, reaction, solution. Again. Yeah, that'll make a good, need a good sign for that. But yeah, they use it time and time again. And until we wake up to this freaking tactic that they use, we're not going to we're going to keep on reacting in the way they want us. We're going to keep on saying, oh, well, we need more government control then, don't we? Oh, there's more problems. Oh, we're getting pissed off. Oh, we need more government control. We need more police officers on the streets. Yeah. We need more budgets. We're going to have to pay more taxes then, aren't we? Yeah. But what I'd really like to see is us working hand in hand with the police. I know that a lot of people are working in tandem with the police, trying to get the police on our side, trying to explain things to the police whilst they're there with them. You know, you swore your oath to common law, uphold common law, things like this. You know, trying to re-educate the police from their lefty brainwashed fucking enrollment program. And yeah, I want to see the police more on our side. I want to see them, you know, I'd love to see a police officer standing up and speaking, you know, like, what's his name? Like Wedger, John Wedger, getting out there, blowing the doors off the scandals. And it's more of them we need to see to restore our trust in the policing system, because we're losing our trust in the policing system. We're losing our want to consent. Because, yes, Mr. Officer, has any crime taken place? No? Well, goodbye then, Mr. Officer. You're not detaining me. You give us your name and details. No, you don't have my consent. Go away. You know, whereas I'd like to be able to say to the police, oh, yes, my name is this, and and I'm a happy, nice citizen. Well, how can I help you, Mr. Officer? Let's do some investigating together, Mr. Officer. Let's get to the bottom of this case. Can I help in any way? But it's part of the breakdown of society nowadays. And, you know, when we do start to have these big rallies, because they're coming, they are, I'm seeing the 6th of May being very well populated, a lot of people there, and a huge police presence. I'd like somebody to approach the officers there, to start to talk to the police officers there, and, you know, not ask them berating questions and, you know, what's your opinion on this, and start, you know, poking the mic in the face and try to trip them up with questions. But, you know, try to, you know, open them up, try to educate them a little bit more about freedom of speech and the Constitution and common law and things like this that they really do need to know about. You know, I'd like somebody to actually just speak heart to heart with the police at one of these events to see whether we can, you know, get on terms with them, you know, on the right level, on the same level with them, so they can see things from our point of view. Because what they're being taught is that we're the enemy, that we're wrong, we're the ones that are causing trouble, we're the troublemakers, we're the fire starters, we're the problem that needs to be dealt with, when it is the exact opposite. It's the people that oppose us that are the problem, that are wrong, that are that need to be put in their place. And yeah, you know, I'd also like to see if it ever comes to it, like it did in the poll tax riots, and it was like a freaking, what they called, a lined battle, you know. I'd like to see our best spokesman sent forth as an emissary, you know, to like they would do in the bloody olden days. You know, your ruler or your king or your knight would go out across the battlefield to meet the opposition, to talk about it, to see if there's a better way around it, a solution that's not going to cost lives or any bloodshed, or a solution to the problem so you can all turn around and go home. You know, it's It's what we want. It's what we need. And I'd like to see emissaries from both sides to come together in the middle and debate live, streamed live. You know, this is the sort of conversations that we need to be having. You know, it's going to be in a fiery situation, but what better place? What better time and what better place to have this debate? You know, let the left send forth their best orator. We'll send forth our best orator, and the debate will be had there and then in the street. That would be awesome, because we'd win, because we've got facts and the truth on our side. You know, the left team gets sent home crying, but it will be done and done properly, and everybody will be able to gravitate towards this certain event. And it makes sense. It makes proper, good sense. Anyways, you know, the police. I don't want to say it's a lost cause, because there are still quite a few decent officers out there. But, you know, you look up at the hierarchy of the police, and you just see a den of vipers. You see this filth, for want of a better word. This unpatriotic, virtue signalling scum that are, by the looks of things, actively trying to destroy society. And that's what the hierarchy's like. You know, from chaos comes order. But let's have a look. What's the yep. You know, it's been a while since I spent some time with the police, but I intend not to spend any time with them at all, really, until they reform, until they change their ways. Then I see them as a government non-entity, as sadly more of a problem than a solution. You know, if we had the right sort of police officers, the right sort of people policing the street, we won't be in this situation. If we had the right generals, if we had the right people controlling the police service and police force, we won't be in this situation. If we had the right people in politics, we won't be in this situation. But sadly, we haven't got the right people. Sadly, we've got the wrong people. And sadly, we're finding it very difficult to hold these people to account. Yeah, that's another massive part of the policing system and the police state and the police, and even politics and everything. If you go against your senior officer, your whip, your party leader, you know, the narrative, what's being pushed at you, standing up for something that's right, you're gonna get berated, at least. You're going to get alienated, at least. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose you're going to struggle to pay your mortgage. La, 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 la. So even if, like Mr. Tour said, even if you are a good police officer, your moral compass is being led by social conditioning, being led by the need to keep this job, is being led by fear of loss. Well, look what happened to John Wedger. You know, when they're doing that to whistleblowers, something's got to be done. Something seriously has to change. or else the people are going to start getting really pissed off. We are doing. We're all starting to come together, you know. Right, where else can we take this? Because we don't want to really end on a downer, you know. Well, we used to have this massive, we used to have a joke about police officers. Yeah, police officers only ever got C's in the GCSEs, and the police officer was the one kid that's always got bullied. The one kid that everybody picked on is the one that turned into a police officer. The one that holds a very big axe to grind against society is the one that becomes the police officer. Yeah, you know. And what friends does a police officer have? Police officer friends. They're the only friends that they can have, are other police officer friends. Yeah. Oh, you know, well, any police officers working in Telford? Yeah, all the officers in Telford. Look into it. Look for the Masonic lodges in Telford. Well, it's good comment, Sean. It's all by design. It's all by design. They don't want you to trust the police. They don't want nice, local, friendly neighbourhood bobbies. They want brainwashed freaks. They want their puppet police officers. They want people that are controlled by fear, controlled by arrogance, controlled by ego, controlled by their want for social justice. And these people, that's what they want. That's what they put in. That's what they're installing. Can you see what they're doing with the cultural war as well upon the police? They don't want us to trust the police. They want us at odds to be divided, to be against the police. Lord knows why. Lord knows why. Well. Yeah. Well, it's a difficult one because it's a multi-layered problem. Multi-layered problem. You know, they want us to be against the police, and yet they want a police state. They want a rebellion so they can force upon us a police state. They've cut police numbers and cut police funding, so crime rates have gone through the roof to piss us all off, to make us revolt, to bring in a police state. Is this the reason? I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a weird one. Why would you punch the gift horse in the mouth? Why? Yeah. You know, we've got all these. Well, Labour spent, like Labour does, went out, got the country into buckloads of debt and ran out of money. Then the Tories have to come along, make huge cuts and austerity and quantitative easing and all this crap. So they cut the budget and they just decimate the police and decimate the armed forces. And now, what, they're trying to look, they can't even look to spin it in their favour anymore and say, well, look, we're pumping 100 million back into the police force. Because we'll just say, well, look, you've cut the police force by 300 million. What? Doesn't work. Doesn't work anymore. So, yeah, the police. I know it's a bit of a weird topic. I know I just stumbled across it today, and I thought, well, we'll have to do it at the police. You know, it's a weird one, because if we had an armed populace and proper social justice and proper empathy and the right morality taught to people and taught to children And yes, there would be occasional psychopaths here, there, and everywhere that don't obey the rules and laws of this land. But would we need police officers if we were armed and we were educated correctly and we were cultured correctly? Would we? Because I don't think we would. I don't think we'd need them if we all had our own form of protection. If everybody could carry a gun if they wanted. If everybody was educated to see things through other people's eyes, and everyone was, had the right sort of morality, what is good, what is good, what is bad, what is bad. And we didn't have any sort of, poverty in society. Real, proper, abject poverty where you have to go out and rob and steal from people because, I don't know, you can't get a job. Or, I don't know, you're addicted to some form of drugs. We only need the police because we have a broken society. And if we fix society, will we really need police? And on that question, I'm going to end the broadcast.